Chosen one, pause and listen with intention. What I'm about to share is not meant for everyone. This is a weighty and urgent word reserved for those who genuinely walk with God. If your faith is casual, if spiritual matters feel like entertainment to you, or if your heart is not aligned with God's purpose, this message is not for you. But if you are a true follower, if your spirit has been marked, then understand this. You are here because heaven allowed it. This message reached you at the exact moment it was meant to. Not too early, not too late, perfectly timed. God trained you in private for a reason. What looked like isolation was preparation. What felt like delay was discipline. And now the season is changing. You are no longer rising as a wounded survivor. You are rising as a kingdom warrior, strengthened, refined, and spiritually equipped. If you stay to the end, you will finally understand why your path was so intense, why others couldn't walk beside you, and why God shaped you without explanation. That understanding will quiet your mind and ignite your spirit. We go further if this resonates with you. Support the message, like the video, subscribe, turn on notifications, and share it with others who need confirmation. Comment 777 as a declaration that you are aligned, prepared, and ready for what God has assigned to you. Why God hid you, the purpose of divine seclusion. Chosen one, receive this calmly, not emotionally. God did not hide you because you were weak. He hid you because you were valuable. Rare things are never placed in noisy environments. What is common can survive exposure. What is chosen must be protected in silence. There is a reason your life didn't unfold like others. A reason doors closed without explanation. A reason relationships faded. A reason your journey felt lonely, even in crowds. God was not punishing you. He was positioning you. Most people only understand this process after they've come out refined. When God prepares someone for a kingdom assignment, He removes distractions, firmly, not gently. He separates you from environments that would have damaged your character before your calling matured. If praise had come too early, you would have leaned on approval instead of obedience. If support had arrived too soon, you would have depended on people instead of God. So He hid you. You questioned the delays. You wondered why your efforts went unseen. But hear this clearly. God never rushes what He intends to sustain. Speed creates excitement. Preparation creates endurance. God focused on your foundation before revealing your gifts. Isolation was not rejection. It was divine protection. God shielded you from jealousy you couldn't yet detect, manipulation you weren't ready to resist, and battles you weren't equipped to fight. What you thought were losses were actually liabilities being removed. There are lessons God only teaches in silence: obedience without recognition, faith without reassurance, trust without evidence. In the hidden place, you learn to stand without validation. You learn to pray unseen. You learn to persist when motivation disappeared. The training could never happen publicly. Public stages expose flaws. Private seasons heal them. God knew that if He elevated you too soon, unhealed wounds would bleed into your assignment. So He took His time, not because you were slow, but because your calling carries weight. Think about the moments you felt overlooked, misunderstood, invisible despite your effort. That pain wasn't wasted. It stripped ego, humbled your spirit, and built compassion. A true kingdom warrior cannot be arrogant. They must be grounded. God also purified your desires. You once wanted recognition. Now you want peace. You want alignment. You want truth. That transformation didn't happen by accident. It happened through divine rewiring. Some people couldn't walk with you because they were assigned to your comfort, not your destiny. God didn't remove them because they were evil, but because they were misaligned. If they stayed, you would have stayed small, and God refused to allow that. During the hidden season, God sharpened your discernment. You learned to sense intentions before words, shifts before actions, danger without proof. That ability was forged through betrayal, disappointment, and silence, and it is one of your greatest weapons. You learned how to sit alone with yourself. No noise, no distractions, no audience. Most people break there. You didn't. You wrestled with God. You questioned, you cried, and you stayed. That is why heaven trusts you. God hides his warriors so the enemy cannot study them. If your rise had been visible, resistance would have formed too early. So God trained you quietly, strategically, while others underestimated you. That's why your growth looks sudden to outsiders. They didn't see the years of obedience without reward, patience without promise, and faith without proof. That kind of growth cannot be faked. You were hidden so you could learn to hear God's voice above your emotions. When everything else was stripped away, his voice remained, and now you recognize it instantly. That clarity is priceless. Release this now. Stop grieving the unseen season. Stop resenting those who left. Stop questioning why God didn't explain himself. You were never forgotten. You were protected. The hidden season wasn't about what you were doing, but who you were becoming. And what was built in secret when you no longer chase attention. You no longer crave validation. You are no longer confused about who you are. That's how you know the training worked. God hides his chosen until they are unshakable. And if this feels familiar in your spirit, it means the hiding place fulfilled its purpose. The silence was necessary. What God formed in you privately is about to stand firmly in the open. You are not behind, you are prepared. The secret training, what God built within you. While you thought nothing was happening, everything was happening. Heaven was active, just quietly. Deep transformation is never loud. God worked first on your inner structure. Before giving you influence, he examined your heart. He watched how you handled unanswered prayers, disappointment, and obedience that cost comfort. This was intentional training. He trained emotional endurance, teaching you to feel deeply without being ruled by feelings. You questioned, you cried, but you didn't quit. A warrior is guided by truth, not emotion. He trained faith without constant reassurance. Silence strengthened your trust. Faith that depends on signs collapses under pressure. Faith trained in silence becomes immovable. You were trained in obedience that defied logic, walking away from things that looked right but weren't aligned. That obedience refined your discernment. You showed up even when prayer felt heavy and worship felt empty. That consistency built discipline. Anyone can seek God when inspired. Warriors seek him when they feel nothing. God addressed your ego quietly through being overlooked, misunderstood, and passed over. Not to shame you, but to save you. Unchecked pride destroys calling faster than failure. Your confidence is now rooted in alignment, not applause. That is rare. God trained patience, active patience. You learn to plant seeds without digging them up. That restraint is wisdom. Your spiritual sensitivity sharpened. You began to sense what others missed. That discernment came through experience, not instruction. You learned intimacy without agenda, knowing God not as a tool, but as Father and Commander. God trained you through resistance. Easy victories create entitlement. Resistance creates strength. You learned forgiveness without closure. Self-control replaced impulsive reactions. Old versions of you were stripped away. Responsibility replaced blame. Resilience replaced collapse. Humility replaced insecurity. Vision shifted from reward to legacy. Every delay strengthened you. Every closed door protected you. You were not punished. You were prepared. The warfare you didn't see. Many of your battles were invisible. Mental pressure, emotional heaviness, unexplainable exhaustion. That wasn't weakness. It was warfare. Opposition rises where destiny is near. The enemy targeted your mind because it carries strategy, your heart because it carries compassion, and your confidence because it carries authority. You were attacked through relationships, betrayal, misunderstanding, and isolation. But those battles sharpened discernment. Despite everything, you remained. You may have slowed, but you didn't abandon faith. That alone dismantled the enemy's plan. You survived what should have broken you. Instead of becoming bitter, you became wise. That is grace. You learned boundaries. You stopped fighting every battle. Sensitivity became strength. Clarity followed confusion. Chosen one, none of this was random. You were trained, refined, and prepared. And now the season is shifting. What was built in you is ready to stay.